What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. I know it's been about 2 to 3 weeks since I did my last movie review, but I did see two films this past weekend in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and Lilo and Stitch. So those who have been watching my films, my short films that I've done over the years, as well as my movie reviews, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And to those who are just joined this channel and this page right now, this video rather, hope you like what you see. Please hit that subscribe button and that notification for more updates. Your support means a lot. And let's get straight to it. Beginning with, as you see in the title, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. And is it really the last Mission Impossible film? For Tom Cruise, it seems so. And that's not to say that his character is dead and that he will never ever come back. He is alive. You've seen the film yourself. You know he's alive. It's not a spoiler, but then again, this is a spoiler review, so whatever. But from what I read in a post, and I don't know if it was a real post that I read, but I heard that he wanted Glenn Powell to take over the Mission Impossible franchise. If you don't know who Glenn Powell is, he's been doing a lot lately. He was in Top Gun Maverick, he was in Twisters, the main actor in Twisters, and he's been doing a lot, and he's really that it guy right now, next to a few others, but he's really like one of the top young actors right now. And I don't know if I want another Mission Impossible film to be taken over by another actor. I think it should end as is. And if you want to do another type of spy, mission-based film, just create a new franchise and, make it its own thing. Try to, differentiate yourself from the Mission Impossible series. I just feel like the way this one ended, especially with the Ethan Hunt character played by Tom Cruise, I think it's perfect. I really don't want to see any more Mission Impossible films. And I love the franchise. It's probably one of my favorite franchises. Top 3, I would say. They keep getting better. Or for the most part, because I do like, in my ranking of the 8 films, it's, up and down. So it's not like other one is better, every new one. But, I love the films in general. And I really got into Mission Impossible beginning with the third film. I didn't really care about the first two, but with the third one on, I fell in love with the franchise. And this one, with, it being the final one for Tom Cruise, at least again, things always change. They may come back. He may come back as character, and play Mission Impossible again, another movie, because you know how Hollywood is. They always just crank him out. But from what I saw in an interview with him, I think he's done, and at least for now. And it was a great film. It continued from Dead Reckoning, which I really enjoyed, which was the first part of this 2-part film. It was going to be Dead Reckoning and Dead Reckoning Part 2, but they made it The Final Reckoning. From what I heard, Dead Reckoning didn't perform very well in the box office, so they wanted to differentiate itself from that film, but you really can't. When you watch the film, you see that it's just a second part to the Dead Reckoning, which, if I had to go with the 2, I prefer Dead Reckoning, but that's not to say The Final Reckoning was a bad film. I just felt like I liked what was going on with Dead Reckoning. I just felt it was more entertaining. Even though Final Reckoning, there was nonstop action, but I felt like there was beats where it was a little too slow. And which is, again, it wasn't a bad thing, but I like more the fast pace, which I felt was Dead Reckoning. The both films were great for being a 2-parter, and I can see why it was split up, the story. And I like that, the Final Reckoning kind of made a callback to the older films, especially parts 1 and 3, and how this new threat, the AI, allowed itself, or rather was based off of the third film and what Ethan Hunt and crew did in retrieving what was thought to be a biochemical of sorts. And instead it was that AI, which apparently is the main threat of these last 2 films. And it's just, Ethan really wanted to be ahead of the AI, which kind of predicts your moves. And he just like, nobody should try to get this control of the AI, which other parties want control of the AI to try to, or to try to contain and control it. And Ethan's like, no, we got to destroy it. And the way it ends, obviously you've seen it. He ends up getting the little device which they trapped that AI in, and he's given it to where Haley Atwell's character is like, you're the one who she believes can be in charge of this AI and control it. But for me, I mean, it ends like that. He looks at it, he's like, oh, you gave it to me, I didn't want it. I don't want to be in control of this. I mean, he could, to me, I'll end it to where I feel like he ended up destroying it. He didn't want to take control of it because that was his whole MO in the beginning. So that's how I like to view it in the end. Of course, it's up to the viewer to suggest how you would like to have him have decided to, use that little device or whatever where the AI is controlled in. Unless they come out with another movie and it explains something with that device, it's stolen or it unleashes again or something, which, I hope they avoid that. But I left that, I like that ambiguity of the ending that is left up to the viewers to kind of decide what his decision would be. I thought that was cool. A lot of high stakes, we have a big death, which I thought the trailer kind of ruined because it was pretty much revealed that this person was going to die, and Ving Rhames' character, Luther. But, he had a long ride with the franchise, and his character went out, I think, very well. They handled it very well. But I would have liked the trailer to kind of leave that out, so at least it was a little bit more of a surprise. And for the most part, every other character that was part of his crew within the last two films, or the last film and now, ended up, surviving. You thought Simon Pegg's character was probably going to die because he got shot, but I didn't think they were going to kill him off, which they didn't. He survived. And Clementif, if I said her name right, Haley Atwell, and then the other guy who ends up joining, They Live. And then you have the one guy from the first film, from the Black Vault, that he had the glasses and he sees the knife on the table, and Tom Cruise does that thing and he looks up. He returns, and his wife also, she joins them in the hunt for stopping the AI or trying to get it trapped in, and that was a nice little callback, especially again from the first film. The one character, Phelps, I believe his name was, or whatever he went by, but his real name was Phelps. Anyway, he's the son of the villain of the first film, played by John Voight, I believe. So that was a cool callback, and I had fun with this film. Again, I'm not disappointed. I ended up buying the popcorn bucket from Regal, which is actually pretty heavy too, or has some weight rather, not heavy, but has some weight. It's like the round thing with it's a popcorn bucket with the key, and you have to kind of connect the two, and then you put it in, and then you open it that way. I ended up buying it. That's my third popcorn bucket overall from films, but I don't open them. I just thought it was cool, so I got that. And I was happy with the franchise. I don't think it should have ended any other way. I will say I thought the villain, Gabriel, died horribly, or anticlimactic rather. Like, I would have wanted a bigger fight scene or something, but we had that whole plane situation, and he ends up thinking he's gonna escape with his parachute and slams his face on the plane and killed him. So I thought that was just anticlimactic the way they did that, but I get it. They want to just keep it in the air, and he's falling, trying to get that parachute out while he's also trying to put the two devices connected together so that Haley Atwell and Simon Pegg's character can do what they gotta do and trying to trap the AI. So I had fun with it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed this franchise a lot, and it really, every time they kept coming out, I was anticipating for the next film. I will say I will miss that because now we don't have any more Mission Impossible films at the moment. And I'm okay with that, but it was always great to look forward to the next film. So Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise and Cole, you guys did great. Thank you so much for the years of the films you've done and the stunts, and hopefully we can get another franchise that is just as awesome as Mission Impossible. Again, not the same, but its own thing, but just as awesome. So if you haven't seen The Final Reckoning and you're here watching this movie review, thank you for that. But please go check out The Final Reckoning. And yeah, until next time, my next review will be Lilo and Stitch. I give The Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, 2 thumbs up. Check it out again if you haven't seen it. But if you've seen it, let me know in the comments your ranking of the films. Please keep it professional in the comments. I will get back to you. I will give also my rankings in the comments and respond. So again, thank you so much. And until next time, later.